Yeah. In a way, it's a funny sedra. I don't know. I mean, obviously, the Beniman put together the sedra, so it's not a kasha, and it may be even to say that most of it is Maisa Migdash. There's five subjects or six subjects before the Egel, and it's all read to the Kohen. Then you have the Maisa Egel, which is read to the Levi, and then you have a bunch of small little parshas. And the reason for it is because the parsha of the Egel has to be read for the Levi, because Kol B'nai Levi came over them, so that's chus of the Levis, and he gets that aliyah that they're supposed to be Kol B'nai Levi. Okay, so that's the important thing. Now, why you put these parshas here? I assume because it's Maisa Migdash. What's the Maisa Migdash? You got first the collection of the Masa Shekel for the Adonim. That's what it is here. Then you have the what do you call the Kiyah? Then you have the two psomim, it says Samim, and for the what do you call it for the Mishra, Shemana Mishra. And then you have for the Keteiros itself, and then you have the pointing B'tzalel, and then Shabbos that mitzvah that Binyan Beis Hamikdash is not there for Shabbos. I forgot my hanky upstairs. You know already. Okay. So we'll get to Shabbos. I have something I want to tell you something. Use it tomorrow night too, maybe. But I was going to have to listen to it again, that's all. Okay. Anyway, the kash is, Ki Sisa Reish B'nai Yisrael L'fkudeihem. You raise them up. In other words, there's a point of raising up the Yidden, the union, by counting them. How do you raise up a person by counting them? So the Rashiva said it is, I talk about the whole, he used to talk about before Shavuos on it, to understand that every Yid is counted as one and equal to Moshe Rabbeinu. You know, it's Moshe Rabbeinu is one, and obviously nobody matches up to Moshe Rabbeinu. So what do you mean he's one and we're one? But the Torah was given to us equally. We're the same one, and if we live up to our potential as he lived up to his potential, and then pshat is we are one. That's Moshe v'Aharon HaShoveh. What do you mean the Shoveh? Moshe is much bigger than Aaron. They lived up to their potential. So therefore, that's the union. The only achrayus you have is to live up to your potential. And in Emerson, that's the bracha, I think, that they say that you say it's supposed to be, so what do you call it? Simcha Kim Efraim from Menashe is what do you call like one and number two? Like Efraim is bigger than Menashe, or at least the bracha to him is bigger, or the family is bigger, whatever you want to call it, that it means that Efraim is bigger than Menashe, and Nafal Pikain, the union is they're both, you should be like Efraim and Menashe, meaning that these two are the only two that lived up to their potential chutz la'aretz. And therefore, our children should be like these two. It doesn't make it just what our potential is. It can be like Ephraim, it can be like Menashe, it can be even less. But if that's what we live up to, we get full schar. And therefore, because you can't get more, you can't live up to more than the Beniman gave you. So there's no kasha about it. And yet, the Beniman gave us the Torah. He didn't just give it to Moshe Rabbeinu. He gave us the Torah. He gave us the Torah. That means he expects us, the Shmir Torah from us is equal to the Shmir Torah from him. So therefore, that's the thing. So that's how you raise up the number. Okay, so there's an Indian of putting a count to it. Okay. Then he says, what you have to do, give kaifer nafshe. That now we just don't go out and count them. We want money from them, and this money is going to be used instead of counting. That it's going to be used to forgive them for being counted. That's a schwere Sache. If the Beniman doesn't want you to be counted, then we don't count. He knows how many Jews there are. He doesn't have to count them. So therefore, what's the point? If there's a point that, is there a tachlis in counting? Yes, there's definitely a tachlis in counting. Yeah? Not just to know the number, how big we are, whatever it is, but simply how many yeshivas do you need? How many new apartments have to be built? How many new shuls have to be taken? I mean, these are all things that simply by the population. You have to know what it is. So you can say, well, maybe it's not really that important on the thing. Why? Because each next section will settle itself. No, maybe it's possible, maybe it's not. I would think it's not possible. Look at Lakewood's backup, what do you call it, that they have a trouble of traffic jams. Because why? Because the roads are too narrow. Why don't you know there's a lot of Jews living over here and they need a wider road? Yeah, but they don't want to give up their property to build a wider road. So what are we supposed to do? I mean, I can't answer you that. But obviously there's a reason to know how much you need and how much you don't need. You need a wider road or you don't need a wider road. So there's an union of knowing the point. Elavos, als bracha, I don't want you to know. I don't want you to put an end to the bracha. That the pshat is vasomecha. That you don't know exactly how much it is. So it could be for that. We judges how many people come to shul. It's a full shul. There's over 1 million people. Or there's sometimes they tell you 100 talesim in a place. 20 talesim in a place. 30. They actually count it. I don't know if they actually count it, but it means you're full. So you're full. I just said a couple of empty seats. There's a couple of empty seats. But we know we got to start thinking now about the future. We can't just assume that it's going to happen by itself. So maybe that's enough. You don't need an actual number. Okay, fine. So there's an issue to count. But again, why do you tell me to count if there's such a point? So the idea is, I think, we'll say like this, that the Ben Shem does want to know how many Yidden he has. In other words, we're talking about that reach your potential. So the Ben Shem wants to know how many Yidden reach their potential. He wants to brag about it. There's something to know about it. Oh, but the truth is, when we say, count me, right? But you're not Roy. You didn't live up to your potential. So why should I count you? How can I count you, if you want to put it that way? But I'm trying. Trying is not enough. You got to get there. You didn't get there yet, so how am I supposed to count you? So then there's a negative for counting people who are not Roy to be counted as counted. That's the time of the thing. Now, let's say you want to get an army together, and everybody's a 4F. So you're going to have 4F means that you're ineligible physically to be a soldier. So Pshat is, so I haven't got an army. So what's like Mirakop? What do you mean I have an army? I don't have an army, right? So I have to know that. You have a population of so much and so much, big deal. But it doesn't produce any soldiers, so it's getting done. So here also the same thing, if you're going to pretend to be a Talmud Chacham, pretend to be a guy working to be an Eved Hashem, so then you need a kapara. No, so therefore that's it. So then don't count us. So there, if I count, the Ben Shem says, I want to count you. I want you to know that you're aiming for something, that aim always remembers, and therefore I want to keep up that aim, always that the thing that's to count. If you fail, the money will be Kesef Kippurim. I want you to keep counting, because if you stop counting, you're not even going to aim for it anymore. That's the point. And this we have in the Rabbana many times. So that's the term there. Okay. Then the Kiyah, the ending of the Psalmim, just the Ikari, there's an Issa, you're not allowed to put it on yourself, you're not allowed to put it for smake maker. L'chayre, it's a ness. I mean, if you make, I don't know the amount of Psalmim here, but if you take the amount that they did for the Shemna Mishcha, right? I don't know why the word is, it says Sisa, so I can't answer that one if you're thinking of that. You got 500 of weight of gold coins, of Shem, what he called, and then Knei Baisim 250, and I got then Kinman 250. So I got 1,000 of coins weighted there, and then Kido Chamesh Meirs, then Kido is another one, that's 4. So I got 1,000, I got 1,500 now, right? 1,500, and Shem Zayis Hin, and the Shem Zayis. That's when we make Kiddush on Revius, it's Revius Hahin. So we have four of those. Figure 3 ounces each one. So 12 ounces of oil together with all this psumim, right? And we make it, I assume the psumim absorbs the oil, that's why you get the smell out of it and stuff like that. So there's nothing left in the thing there. How are you going to make a Shemin HaMishra on all the kavim, all the things, and all the people, and forever and ever? They didn't make it a second Shemin HaMishra. This is one time. That's it. So this is so it's all, the whole thing's a nes. So how do you tell me as an Isser on a nes? Mashma, if you can prove, if you can do magic and do anything else to do something besides that, you're even Isser for using this type of thing. There's something like that they will put an Isser on it to understand the holiness of it, that this Reyach or this whatever it is specific only for the Mishkan and only for the Beis HaMikdash. And that goes also for the Keteris of the smell. Then he came to Hini Karosi B'Shem B'Tzalel. He says, what's the Loshim B'Shem B'Tzalel? Rosh Yeshiva said, this is the thing. Hini Karosi B'Shem. That Loshim of Karosi, I'm calling in the name B'Tzalel. How old is B'Tzalel? 13 years old, right? I mean, he's going to build a Mishkan, which is the holiest place in the thing, and you're going to make it this 13-year-old kid. I mean, that's what he is, as a kid. And he's going to make the Mishkan. He's that big. So the Yeshiva said, you always have what's called child prodigies. Now, what makes him a prodigy? I mean, whatever it is, artists usually. You have in music, you have what do you call it? The Mozart, the thing Dalton. You have guys that at 12 years old, at 10 years old, whatever, they're able to make great things, the operas and stuff like that, and stuff like that. Little kid, right? All of us, I gave him that kishrin. If I gave him the kishrin, he can do it. That's the part that you have to know. In other words, I gave the kishrin to people, and if I gave it to him that he's able to do it, then I gave it to him for a purpose to be able to do it. That's the point. And that's what the Rebbeinu Shalom is telling us. So there's and so therefore, whenever you can use those kishrainis, you had Yenuka, you had the story of Yenuka. There's several Yenukas in the Gemara, but one Yenukas was the one that was like a Talmud, and he was 6 years old, like a Tana man, and he was 6 years old. Like he do it, and the Bensham kills him. It's a Medrash here. I remember even where it is. But the question is, why did God create such a strange thing? And then you got to think about it. What happened if he would have lived to be a normal life? What would he have been? Who knows how great he could have become? I mean, so why would the Bensham kill him? And you think about this also about some of the Rishonim, like the Balamoya. The Balamoya wrote his Sefer when he was 12 years old. And he didn't fast him until he was 19. Why? Because it didn't pass for a 12-year-old to disagree with the Rif. But 19 years old passed yet to disagree with the Rif. I know that I haven't figured out yet. But all right, but 12 years old didn't get past to disagree with the Rif. But the truth is, he only lived to 39. So obviously, he didn't have too much time in his lifetime to really do anything with it and stuff like that. That's how big he was. I mean, so what's pshat? I have no idea. But I understand why he killed the Yenuka. That much I understand. Like you have two little kids fighting. I have a 5-year-old kid. You have a 5-year-old kid. They're playing together, and they got into machlekes, and they start waving their hands at each other and trying to punch each other, and nobody runs over to break it up, right? Why don't you break it up? I think how can he hurt him? He's a 5-year-old. What much of a punch does he have? And the man says, it's a joke. It looks cute. Take a picture. That's the first thing you do. Take a picture. Let's say you're learning. Your kid is 5 years old and he's playing with a retarded kid who's 20 years old, but he has the brains of a 5-year-old, and they're playing together. Now you're going to be watching very carefully, because if that 5-year-old, that 20-year-old that has the brains of a 5-year-old gets angry at my 5-year-old and he hits him, he's going to kill him. And the thing over there. So therefore, the Yanuk, if he gets angry at anybody, he's going to blow him up with an atom bomb. He'll blow up the world. Because, to him, he's just to hurt him, what's the thing? I'm going to make sure I get him, so wherever I get him, I'll get him. So we can't trust such a person. That's the thing, though. You have more keiches than you have whatever it is, the other things that match you. It's not going to be good. Okay. Then we get to Shabbos. Okay, Shabbos, it says that the din is, which is a little bit different, Rashi learns than the Gemara. The Gemara learns, it's a miyut that Bini Beis HaMikdash is not Doicha Shabbos. Right? Ki oisi beni beni even leisim l'das, and Rashi says l'das is ha'amim. The Gemara says l'das is Yisrael, the Gemara Be'er. So exactly, the machlekes, the Sheikh machlekes, so there's two droshes here that I can't answer you. But l'das is ha'amim is a kashi like this. In other words, it's not Doicha Shabbos. Right? Why is it not Doicha Shabbos? Because Shabbos is made to teach the world why you're holy. But the world won't see us. The Anani HaKavod are here. They can't see us. So if they can't see us, why is it not Doicha Shabbos? Right? So that's the Chodesh Kashi you should have. Right? Maybe it should be Doicha Shabbos, and I'm still telling you it's not Doicha Shabbos. And that doesn't make sense. And Afal Pikain, and that's given this piece of Torah is given before the egel, because you have this too much lumdus you give me, you'll end up with an egel. If you become, after I see you made an egel, what does start off? What does Vayakel starts off? It starts off that the same din that Bini Beis HaMikdash is not Doicha Shabbos, but straight Issa. No lumdus here, no reasons why you keep Shabbos, no what, and then it says here, Hashem, period. So. That's it. You must. I mean, no lumdus, no reasons why you're doing it. When you become, if you're too big a lumdus, you land up on an egel. So all of a sudden, I got to go into think. And I'm saying, what do you mean? What do Lamdas got to do with an egel? They didn't make an egel for Avodah Zarah. They made an egel for Ashras Hashrina. So what are you comparing it to an egel for Avodah Zarah? They made it. Moshe is not here, so we need a place for Ashras Hashrina. The Rebbeinu going to go out, and they through whatever cheshbenis they had, they came to the egel, and you'll see. I think if I remember, it's a Rabag. By Pesel Micha, by not by Pesel Micha, by Yerovam, why he picked an egel, why did he build an egel? And the thing there, because in the Midbar they picked an egel as the Mokum Ashrois Hashrina, so we can't have the Mishkan, because that's by Malchus Beis David, so by us we're going to make an egel. And therefore they made an egel. So therefore, it's in the highest HaKadosh, the egel is there, and therefore that's the highest one. I can't ask you these things, but whatever it is there, that's how you make an egel. Okay. Elavos, the Erev Rab screwed up, right? In the thing over there. So, but you brought it into the world. You brought a problem that could grow into something else. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. And that's the tiny that you have. So you have too much lumdus. We have to tell you straight out. No lumdus. Also, period. No? I'm not telling you why it's also, because once you why it's also, but this is maybe it's different. So therefore, we take staying away from that. Okay. Now, I just want to say this point on Shabbos that I said to talk about tomorrow night. The thing there, it always bothered me, but I had no real reason for it. But as I'm saying the same thing over and over again, it hit me that this is maybe the reason. It says Shabbos is an ois b'ni b'neichem v'dereisechem l'odasi, for you to know, the world to know, and then it says over again, Shabbos is dereisam bris olam. This is the bris. What's the bris? That what? God made the world in 6 days. And if, let's say, God made the world in 1,000,000 years, is that what you say that's a bris? I mean, what's the bris? Is the bris because somewhere in the 19th century, probably, in 1800s, a guy Darwin is going to be born, is going to go and write stuff about the union of evolution and stuff like that, so I want to prove there's a God. So I made a bris with you to remember there's a God, there's a thing there, because don't listen to Darwin. What's taste my cup? I mean, I think this is the whole reason that we have a thing there. Why would I have that? And why is it this called the bris? Tell me, you want to tell me that the Beisham made the world in 6 days? Fine, but what do you tell me? It's the bris. This is the bris. We make this. We mean you. This is our contract. The Jews and the Goyim. It's a question of by Mila. The guys who put on the film, they don't take it off. Some people actually put it on, but they don't have to put it on. But they not to take it off. You don't take it off. You should have 2 brissen b'shas ma'aseh. So on Shabbos you have Shabbos and Mila, and on Yontif and on the weekdays you have Tefillah and Mila. They're also brissen. Okay, so good. So we have the word bris. What's a bris? A bris is a contract. It's a treaty, whatever you want to call it. What's so important about it? And again, even more than that, what are you telling me when you tell me that God created the world in 6 days? Are you telling me a maila in God or a maktin of God? In other words, when we were kids, we used to talk about what can't God do? Okay, what do you mean? God can do everything. What do you mean he can't do? Well, he can't make himself as small as this. Right? Okay. So there's certain things he can't do. Okay. Can he be mechadish anything bismanenu? So according to the Rambam, and I don't think anybody argues with the Rambam, that Piadis, and probably the Goyen agrees with him, that Rambam writes in Pekiovis and in Mishmai Parkim, that God made a Tanai with Maisa Bereshis that when the ocean is the sea is going to split by Kriyas Yamsuf. Right? What does that mean? Made it Tanai. Well, what do you mean Tanai? I want to split, I'll split it. You can't do that anymore. Everything that's created in the world must be created in those 6 days. So what is the Rebbeinu Shem did? He limited himself, he made himself his, and on one hand you say it's a Gresser Mailu HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that he foresaw everything that can happen in all the dairas, and he made the world with the laws of nature, as we'll call it, and those laws will keep the world going for as long as it covers everything. And in those, so it happened to be Ben Hashmoshes after the Chet of Adam. So now all of a sudden the world changed between the Olam Koydem Chet and the Olam Achar Chet. So we had to add onto the world a couple of more things. So therefore we added them on, like before Shabbos, Ben Hashmoshes, they were made. So therefore, because it has to be made before Shabbos, after Shabbos it can't be made. And that's the thing, Dalton. So therefore the Beisham has to use nature to do that, and everything is included in that. And we spoke about even the control of people is that way, and that's what the Baruch Asher Yotzer is, not just to go into the bathroom. Asher Yotzer is, I want to give you a heart attack, I close up one of your arteries and you're dead. I want to give you a stroke, I close up something in the artery and you're dead, and you're paralyzed. And the thing out there, I control you with the pipes I put into your body. That's how I control you. And I control the world with earthquakes and what do you call it, not tornadoes, volcanoes and things like that and those stuff like that. I want to wipe out a bunch of people, boom, I have no problem. I want to make up I want to make a tsunami to wipe out a couple of thousand, a few 100,000 people. I get some kind of earthquake way down there, makes a tidal wave, and that wipes out all the people. The Beisham controls the world the way he wants to do with what he created in Maisa Bereshis. I don't have to create anything more.
So what's a nace?
What?
So what's a nace?
That the fact that it happened at this time. Just when I needed it, that's when it happened. That's the ness. What do you say a ness? Punkt to think there's a coincidence happened. That coincidence was an S. That's an S, right? That's a coincidence. Yeah, the Kaifer is going to say it's a coincidence, and the other guy is saying it's an S. What's the difference? Because the Rebbeinu Shem doesn't want us to know things from the obvious. That's the thing. Because then there's no Bechira. You didn't do anything. So therefore, when we have come to Gayas, now is not the time for that. Kirusei and Chirusei, that thing, the difference, the thing, but the Mon before is called Savior, not a Savior. All it is the similar idea. The Iker is the mention demands from us to do what do you call it? You have Nishtadl. At the same token, we have Chuyev to know it's worthless. That's what we Chuyev to know. That what you're Nishtadl, you think you're doing something, you're not accomplishing who's in it. About that, I want you to find God from the few times that you'll see, this is Takiv Anes. I needed $1 million, and boom, the guy came in and he offered me, he had a place to get the $1 million to put away, will you take over the thing? And I got the $1 million. And you have like that, you're going to be. So we all see there are things that happen out of the ordinary. They're not normal, that's an S. The fact that it happened when I needed it, that's an S. And the thing over there. Okay. With the war in Eretz Yisrael, we saw different types of mices that happened. Remember the guy in the Turkish parliament was talking about Klal Yisrael, there was Israel, and they should be destroyed and everything else, and a heart attack and drops dead there. Right, while he's talking. So what is that? Is that an S? No, it's not an S. He had a heart attack. He got too excited, and therefore his blood pressure went too high, and he killed him. It was an S. Why did the Benjamin show it to us? Because the first year that saw it, understood it, and therefore I don't have to understand more. That's the thing. So that's the same thing with Shabbos.
What about the Makkos in Mitzrayim? What about the Makkos in Mitzrayim? Was it a Shinat Teva?
All of them are natural. He brought winds, he brought this, he brought that. And if you want to learn like the Gra, he made the Kriyas Yamsuf was ice. He froze the sea. And that's what using the laws of nature. How do you get so cold, and how do you get so this, and how do you get salt water to freeze? And all these things that's not a problem. Okay.
What about Borod? Isha Borod, Isha Mayim. Borod, Isha Mayim.
Barad. When he combined water and fire.
So, he said they're both unnatural things. What do you think? He put them both out at the same time. You don't understand how the two are there together. That's a different shayla, but they're both natural things. You can create a new thing. Okay, so I'm saying, whatever that means, I'm not getting involved in the Rambam, but obviously the Rambam holds when you say Seishas Mebereshis, doesn't mean it took me only 6 days to slug up Darwin. That's not the point of he didn't say it for Darwin. He's telling you that everything that was created and the thing this I said it could be that he anticipated everything else. You see, Gressel might drag in Hashem, that that he knows the whole future because he knows everything that's going to happen in the world, and therefore he gave a thing there. Right? But now I want to say something I think that's even maybe deeper than that. The pshat is, if you don't work 1 day a week, right? Technically, I don't have what to eat that day. Right? Once upon a time, we worked daily on the field, and we made enough to eat and this and that, and the thing Dalton. Even the goyim actually give us our daily bread, whatever it is there. They realize everything is tug by tug is the whole thing. I can't take a day off. And the thing though, the ancients take a day off, I feed you today. Shabbos, God feeds us, right? Once God feeds us on Shabbos, you realize He feeds us the rest of the week too. And the only reason we're going through this whole thing is the union to be mafresh between Nes and Teve. Teve is something that I can count on, I pray for, Nes is something that I don't count on and I don't pray for, so therefore that money should appear from nowhere, that I don't do for anything. Can it appear from nowhere? Definitely. It depends how much you believe in all those things and whatever it is. The story with, I forget who the story is with, some Alkabaz, whatever it is, that the guy with the finding a treasure, he went to a Shmu's Shiur, whatever you want to call it, and by him, and he said that, remember, so the person doesn't have to work. So he was in Amoritz, he came home to his wife, he said, I heard the rabbi say today, you don't have to work. So he stopped working. But it's getting tight in the house. There's nothing to eat in the house. There's nothing, the thing open. We have to sell the horse and the wagon. Okay, they sell the horse and the wagon to the guy next door. And he said, there, we have nothing, and the wife is moneying the guy, and he still doesn't go to work, right? Finally, the guy, he's a digger, whatever he digs for, he goes out to dig. He goes into the mountain, he's digging, and he finds a treasure. And he puts it into the wagon, and he has a heart attack and drops dead. Right? The horse doesn't know what to do, so he goes back to his original owner, to the balabos, because that's the guy who he always went to his house. He knows how to go back there, and he goes back and he brings him the treasure, and all of a sudden they're millionaires, right? So this is the thing there. So they asked the Talmidim supposedly asked, they said, how come this guy don't know nothing, everything else, and God gives him such an S? And they think, first of all, why are we calling it an S? Remember, we're talking about this, it just happened. The treasure was there, then put it in the wagon house, and then so the fact that it happened, the thing that I needed it, and it came there, that's an S. Okay, so he told me because they had misbelieved. Okay, so that's okay. Can I see? He believed, he was willing to put his panos on the line, his whole life on the line. That I believe this. The rabbi said this is the way it's going to be. So therefore, it's going to be that way. You guys don't believe that. You'll make a lumdus out of it. So therefore, we can't. Nothing's going to happen because of that. Okay, so this is so the ikar is that we have to learn from the one day to the rest of the life. That's the chi of Shabbos. That's what I'm teaching you. That everything in life is God controlled, and everything in life you can rely on God. Whatever He yelled is to rely on. When He didn't tell you rely on, you can't rely on Him. You can't just go middle of battlefield, stand up and say, "No, God didn't decree I should die. I'm going to live." I mean, Mishugvin's the, you're going to get shot. And that's the thing there. They shoot back and forth. You're going to get shot. Aber, the thing is that normally Hashem is for natural for natural things and normal sakana things that you do. But we all go driving cars. We all go do this there. Most people get killed in driving cars. So why are you driving a car? You want to be nuts, right? Why are you driving a car? Why doesn't it scare you? Right? Shem Hashem. He makes us into a bunch of idiots, and He protects us, and that's it. And no one gets killed generally, okay? Unless He wants to kill them. And what about Parnasa? I feed everybody what they want, what they need. So Mamela, you don't have to do anything about it. You don't believe it, that's the Torah. Okay, you don't believe it. That's why you have to say b'kavonah. That you said, I believe this Torah, so why am I working? Because that's how I'm going to feed you. If you don't work, you're getting the food and stuff like that. But you got to realize at the same time, the food is not your work does not produce the food. I'm giving it to you. And the thing over there. And this guy want to give bigger bracha, so he works a little bit and he gets a lot of money. This guy works a lot and he gets a little money. Doesn't make a difference. It's all up to me. And that's the point that we have to learn. And that is the bris between us and the Rebbeinu Shalom. And he did it through Shabbos. Shabbos is what teaches us this Yesod that we rely on God and we live with God the whole time. That's the important thing. And that's, I think that's the bris. That the Rebbeinu has marked himself on purpose that people should realize that I control everything there is in the world. The way I want it, and therefore because no accidents and no nothing.
What does it have to do with 6 days?
I'm sorry?
What does it have to do with 6 days?
with these.
6 days. The she was cash was dead.
No, because the 6 days, the 7th day, how do you? And I made an Issa because of that you can't work on the 7th day, right? So that means you're not eating the 7th day. Well, we don't fast. We eat a lot better on Shabbos than we do the rest of the week. So, so something like they have time to eat. So that's what the Benjamin is saying. I pay for that. I pay for that. I pay for everything. That's the reason. Okay, but we don't want it that there should be that I reach it because I can't. Like by Matan Torah, you can't deny there's a God. If you can't deny there's a God, there's no yichus. You have to be where you can deny it. Now there's Bechira, and Bechira you chose to believe. Now I'll give you a schar. If you have to believe, there's no schar for that. There's no yichus for that. The Benjamin doesn't need you to be mefalsim. He wants to mefalsim himself. He can mefalsim himself. As he did in the war. Once 40,000 people put on tzitzis, never wore tzitzis in their life. They made a war, and all of a sudden got 40,000 pairs of tzitzis that people are wearing. People are going to shul, to shiurim, people are going to what do you call the registered into yeshivas. All of a sudden, hey, where'd you all come from? Well, we were always there, we just happened to be flagged, but now we want to be from. Now what makes you want to be from? The thing there, because we saw that somehow the Fruma didn't get killed that day, or not as much as whatever it is there. So so we want to be from too. So that means that we believe in God all of a sudden. So if he wants to do it, he can do it. He doesn't need us to do it. This man, Elavos, he wants us to re-see it from a hint, not from. Now I hit you over the head with it. Amazing though. Came to the end of the Egel. So the Egel is the Egel start right away, and not we blame it on the Erev Rav. And then this was not the Erev Rav made the Egel. These were the Yidden, and I mean if it was only the Erev Rav, I don't know how many Erev Rav there were, but I assume 600,000 Jews were a little bit more than the Erev Rav. I would assume, and they would have been overwhelming. What are you doing? And everything there. So first of all, you learn one with Chaim Shmulevitz's Shmuas, that once you get involved in a conversation or with a situation, to get out of it, to do something in the middle, it's very hard. So he said he learns it from the fact that Hushim ben Dun is the one that killed Esav. He couldn't hear well, so he's just saying, why did he ask the kasha, why aren't they burying Yaakov Avinu? So he said Esav was standing in the way. He took his sword and chopped off Esav's head. Simple solution to the problem. What did the Shiftei Kod do though? Before him, they were arguing. They said, no, it belongs, and they said, it belongs to me. I'm the Bechor. They said, no, it belongs to Yaakov. You made it tonight. You made a star, and the star, where's the star? Show me. Star is Mitzrayim. Always you get there. Naphtali, you go back to Mitzrayim and get the star. Okay, he's a fast man. He's going to get the star. I don't know how fast he was, but anyway. But he's given a job to go a few hundred miles. It's a little shver of kasha, how he's supposed to do it. But anyway, that's the job they gave Naphtali, supposedly. And then he's not waiting for Naphtali. Boom. And the thing over here. Why? Because he was not involved. Once he got involved in the conversation, they keep putting you off, and you can't create charos. They never got involved. Boom. Something. Same thing over here. You came, you let it go, you figured, what's the big deal? They're sitting down, there's a little noise, a few guys are making a tumult, there's there. Nothing happened. It comes to be a full-fledged egel. Once you stop it now, it's an egel. It's hard to stop. I didn't stop it before, it's hard to stop now. Anything goes on in yeshiva, this problem let go, this problem let go, this problem let go. Now it comes a bigger problem, you can let that go too, because how are you putting up a fight now? That's the basic point that comes out. So this is also a thing over here. So if you look at the pasuk, it tells you exactly when it happens. First of all, that he asked for jewelry. No one gave the jewelry, and then it's in for the different psukim. Here it says that they came out the egel. Well, later when he tells it to Moshe Rabbeinu, he said, I threw the Zohav into the fire, and Avayetze Egel, as they walked out the Egel. So the Segel he has its own movement and all that, and it wasn't a thing, it wasn't machinery, it was whatever it is, the Rebbeinu made for the reason to make it. By Yikach Miyodim, he made a thing, and he's trying to distort them. In other words, he knows Moshe Rabbeinu is supposed to come back, and somehow there is a miscount. I don't know if you want to call it a miscount, an error, how we're going, that the 40 days is not over yet. That's the thing there. So who are they killed? So he has a problem that Kayim v'Navi b'Yemechod is going to be really a churban, and I just interesting. The Kayin is Chur because he's Bechor, and the Navi is Aaron, not the other way. You know, those are the two. The thing there. And if they kill him in one day, so they killed Chur already. Now I don't know if they killed him intentionally, or there was a like stampede to get at him. They knocked him down and they just killed him that way. It was an accident. No one went out to assassinate him. I mean, there was no murder there. They don't find that they count him for murder. Okay, and he says, so he makes the Egel, and he says, tomorrow. So I got another day that the Moshe is going to come. So the thing over there. They got up, doesn't say to the Egel, then they got up. Now they're eating already, they're getting into a good mood, and now the Erev decided to say, you know, these guys don't seem to know what to do with the Avodah Zarah. We'll teach them what to do over here, and they went out there, and they came by Kumul Tzach. So that's when the Avodah Zarah, that's why the pace starts there. There's a limit. This is not, till now it was not an ego yet. It was not Avodah Zarah. Now it's Avodah Zarah. And again, they went out, Amcha, meaning the Erev Rav were Chayte here. So the idea is of the Erev Rav being Chayte is Pshat, just like why did the Chamushim die now? Only Chamushim went out. Why? You can't start a nation with the commitment and stuff like that if the Reiv of them don't believe, are not ready to make that commitment. So therefore, you can't start it. So you don't want to go out of Mitzrayim, even if I'll force you to go out, but you're going to be always complainers and this and that, and so you die here. You can't start that way. It's not the way to start. You have to, the way you start, you got to start with solid guys. So you took Erev Rav, which means they really are not believers, but just because they got scared, or they saw the godless HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and they're willing to go along with it. They're superstitious people, if you want to put it that way. So those are not the guys we're going to build a nation with. So it's your thing, but there was no Isa to take them, so you took them. So therefore, it's Kishiches Amcha. That's your nation when was destroyed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So originally. So Moshe Rabbeinu gives a tefillah, and this is not negayah for here. We'll go into Balei Samuel to talk about that. There's different tefillahs, one for here, one for Meraglim. They're different. They didn't use the same tefillah each time, because you can't use the same excuse over and over and over again. But technically, I can. You don't want Mitzrayim to say that the okay. But we try to get a different thing. And he tells us, so he wanted to kill him. So what happened? Vayinochem Hashem al roa shadiba las islamai. He had charote on the thing of killing them, right? Okay. Okay. And now he's going down. But the Rebbeinu Shalom, did he forgive us? Absolutely not. And therefore he says, in the end, when his Moshe is still talking to him on this, and he tells them, the guys, and the Rebbeinu says to him, V'ata leich nechayis ham asher dibarti lach, in imal lochi yech lefanecha, u'b'yom pogdi u'vakarti aleim chatosam. When I'll remember them, when I'm going to punish them, I'm going to remember their chet now. Now, this that I said I will destroy him, that says, V'yinochem Hashem al roa, I'm not going to destroy him. Because, okay, you got me convinced that we're not going to destroy him. But Lamaisa, they give him I'm still angry at them. So when I'm going to hit them, I'm going to hit them hard. This is, to get the pictures that a father wants to teach you. He got angry at his son, and he wants to give him a patch, right? Because he holds the patch as what the kid needs to teach him a lesson, right? When he's not angry at him, he'll give him a patch like that. But the reason the kid has to understand that that's not a joke. I didn't smile at you when I gave you the patch. I want you to understand that the patch is a patch. In other words, there's a punishment of yelling, and there's a punishment of patch. And I don't even know called yelling is a punishment. It's not a punishment. It shows that I'm being moiche on what you're doing. I'm objecting to what you're doing, and I understand if it bothers me, I yell. So therefore I'm yelling you. So once you realize that, why you're yelling me, so you understand there's a reason I'm yelling at you, because I'm angry. Okay, so now there's a secondary degree when I go home and I get physical. In other words, so much I can't control myself from hitting you, so I hit you. So I did something real bad, okay? But again, I'm not angry at you. I love you, so the touch is not. But look at a little baby when you do that. If you're playing a game with her, or her, I don't know why I picked on her, but when you think that you give a patch, and it can hurt her a little, but she looks at your face, and if you're smiling at her, she'll smile back. But if you give her a look like this, even if you just give a glet, the hand, but you give her a look like that, all of a sudden she'll start crying. So it's not the patch that hurt, it's the look that hurt. No, you're not hurting with the thing, but I know that you're angry at me. I know you're upset with me. That's what hurts, and that's what they react to. And that's the point that they want to teach us. Okay, so to come out, so the mentions come a time when I'm angry at you and I hit you, that patch all of a sudden, instead of becoming this, is going to go whack. And that's what the mention was telling you. That much I still will do. The Torah, this remains. You don't find that there's anything goes away in the Torah. Rashi, in later on by the Luchas Shniyos, says that when it came Yom Kippur, that it says there, Vayem Salachti Kidvarecha. I say particularly Salachti, not Mechalti Kidvarecha, Salachti Kidvarecha, because I'm still angry at you, but I don't want you punished for it. Doesn't mean Mechila means it's gone. It's like we're buddies again. I'm not buddies with you. Salachti Kidvarecha. So when we ask on Yom Kippur, I go to that point to understand this, that on Yom Kippur, the maximum we ask is for Salachti Kidvarecha. We say Mechila Slicha Kapara. We say all those things, but when the final, when we do the things is Salachti Kidvarecha, I think we understand God can still be angry at us, but Afal became, we're asking, don't punish us for it. And that's the thing, though. Yeah. Then he talks, the thing. Okay, Moshe moves out of the Machne, so the Bensham tells him it can't be. Now, the Bensham's love for us is so great. To understand, he's angry. Moshe moved out of the Machne because God's angry, I'm also angry, right? He says it can't be. The father and the mother are both angry at one time. It isn't going to work because there's no one to go to. So therefore, this is something that's very important to get to know. A lot of people, when they have a fight, the husband and wife, she doesn't support me, right? When I gave the kid a patch, she goes and gives him hot cocoa. What kind of business is this? This is it's honestly. And I try to explain them that you have two different jobs. The husband's job is to give discipline, and the mother's job is l'shtadlosei b'dvarim, and therefore by kibud, they want kibud more for the mother. Yira, they have more for the father. Therefore by kibud it says hakabedis avicha v'esimecha puts the father first. By Yira puts the mother first. Ish imay v'yoviv tiro. because to tell you that the lesser one, you have to do as much as the harder one. So that's the lesson. What is it teaching you? The mother's job is to make sure that the discipline holds. In other words, if two guys give a potch, that means you have two fathers. 2 cups of cocoa is 2 mothers. And stuff like this, the father, I'll give a mushal how it's shaykh. A kid, let's say a father he doesn't like to be disturbed when he eats. Whatever reason, the day is too tough for him. He comes home, give me a few minutes of menucha before we go. You want to eat? I want to eat with menucha. So the kid says, I have a bechina dad tomorrow, and he says, I'm sorry, I can't learn with you tonight. And as soon as I finish eating, I got a meeting. I have to run. There's nothing there you can't do. Dad, you got to do it. I can't. I'm going to flunk it. Okay, tell you what, I'll let you talk to me while I'm eating. And he learns with him what he's eating, and and the kid goes out. The next day comes and he flunks. And he comes back to the father, and the father gets yelling at him, and whatever, or he hits him even. And I know you didn't listen when we learned yesterday because you're a smart kid. And he said, if you flunk still, that means you didn't listen. And I gave up my supper, whatever it is. And he runs into the kitchen. He screams to his mother, "Ma, I hate him. I don't want to do anything there. I don't care." And all this. She says, "Sit down, relax. Here's some coffee, some whatever, cocoa." He says, "Not coffee. And have some this." And the kid relaxes a little, and then she says to him, "You're a very smart kid. You probably were playing around when he was learning with you. You know how much supper means to Dad. You shouldn't have, he gave up his supper for you because he loves you. You think that, why don't you go in and say you're sorry, and you'll see you'll be okay." And the kid goes in, he says, "Dad, I'm sorry that I did that inside." Your father gives him a big kiss, and he says, "Let's go learn," and goes and there's the thing there. So what she did was accomplish that this discipline that he gave him stuck. Like this, he rejects it. But because it is, he was able to do it. That's the thing. So you have 2 different jobs. It has nothing to do with the same job. That's the main thing. So Moshe Rabbeinu, it's either you're angry or I'm angry. With both of us angry, don't work. So therefore Moshe Rabbeinu moves back. Okay, let's see there. Now just the point of teaching you the union of how long it took to become a Talmud Muvik. How long is Moshe Rabbeinu back from the time he left Mitzrayim? I mean, from the time he left, how long is he back in Mitzrayim? He came back, pretty much, he started the Makkos pretty much immediately, right? So figure 10 months, a year. The Matan Torah is a few weeks later, and the 7 weeks after they go on to Mitzrayim, right? This is before then, right? And then the ego. Well, if the Matan Torah, but it's a 7 weeks figure, whatever this, I don't know what it is, but whatever it'll be, 8, 10 weeks, whatever it is. So it's a year and something. The Talmud big deal. A year and something, but it was a dedication. That's the point. He was dedicated. Doesn't make long how long the thing is. The shaila is how it's done. You makir the dedication that's involved. It can be done in a thing. If you're 50 years, doesn't make a difference. And I don't know when he was chayiv from this. You see, Rabbi Yochanan Sandler says to the mayor, I stood by Rabbi Akiva more than you sat. That means my aroyu was more kavua than your kavua, right? So what do you call the Talmud? You're a Talmud? What kind of Talmud are you, right? Yet, who do we remember of the Talmidim of Rabbi Akiva? Rabbi Yochanan Sandler, we know he learned there, so obviously we have to remember somehow he's still around. He didn't die in the Magefa, right? But we count him, the Rabbi Seini Shebedorim, we don't count him. We don't count him, we don't count, oh boy. the one who did this Sifka. Nehemiah. You don't count Nehemiah, which is also not in that. He's also from the first Talmidim. So how come you don't? And they were bigger Talmidim than the five. You had the five. They had Chibal, Rabbi Shebitorim, and he did this. I can't answer you how it worked and the stuff. Maybe they were quite a guy. I can't understand. But whatever it is, those are the stuff there. But that's a point that's brought out, that the thing that doesn't take years to do that. That's what I'm saying. But that's not the time that's involved. It's the dedication that's involved that they're making in the Muvik. Okay. It's Hashem. Okay, have a good Shabbos, everybody. The next Shabbos, I don't know if we're going to be here. I think, but maybe I'll see you. Maybe before I leave. I'm going away next Shabbos, but probably it's on Friday, so probably we'll have the Shiur. Hashem early, though, I probably. Thank you. Have a good Shabbos, everyone.